before this video starts, don't mind the 2K gameplay, but I just watched the final episode of The Walking Dead final season, and honestly, man, while the ending I like it, there's two major things I need to discuss with this game. Okay, number one, the ending itself. Actually, no, you know what? I'll just discuss it right now. So the biggest issue I feel is if we have a problem is that now Skybound are going to be stuck in an epidemic unless they're going to try and remake the series or the season 5 if it's going to happen. If AJ, there's no way this really makes sense. And let me explain why. They've made it to where they kind of left the ending on a cliffhanger. By the way, before this video starts, huge spoilers, okay? Big spoilers. Alright? So first problem. Skybound is now in a situation where fans are going to be wondering what happened. So what they mean by that is fans are going to be like, what's next? Since, you know, the ending doesn't have Clem or AJ die. So now they're in a situation where if they want to have a good ending, they want to definitively end it, they have to kill them both. But that's not what they did. Unfortunately, it's not what they did. So let me explain one thing. I'm gonna explain my ideal ending. So I'll just do 3 endings. First ending, which should have been the canon one, maybe. The canon ending. Clem and AJ both die. Okay. The school kids can survive, but Clem and AJ need to go. If you want to end it, they both need to die. I'm picturing maybe in the barn, they're both bit, and they just both die or something like that. I don't know. Number 2, only Clem dies and AJ lives on. That's the second ending. Third ending is that happy everyone lives ending, where it's just everyone lives. That's it. That's literally the ending. But now that Clem doesn't have a leg, and is most likely gonna be a sequel. I'm sorry, but the way they ended it makes it seem like there's a sequel. So, by the way, right now, I'm going to spoil the ending. If you have not watched or played it, don't watch this part. Alright. So, in the ending, Clementine is supposedly acts, which you find out later that AJ acts the foot, which I'm going to talk about that one later. So AJ when they cut out the axe part, it seems like she died, right? They play the McCarroll Ranch thing. AJ's alone with the dog. You either see 10 zombified and kill him, or 10 comes back. And then Ruby comes in saying, hey, I checked on you and stuff like that, right? So that happens. It's the song, the Take Us Back song plays. You walk to the school, blah, blah, right? You go to Omar, put the bucket of fish down, and you hear what you doing at goofball. She says that. I don't fucking know it. She says that, right? And everyone thinks it's a hallucination, but in reality, that's, you know, she's alive. Somehow. So, that happens, you know, a little scene plays, a bunch of scenes where she's happy. You know, everything's good. Everything's perfect. Green light. Everything's perfect. But, now that there's a live, they want to know what happens next. Because you can't end a Walking Dead game happy. I don't care what fan base. You can't end it like that. Especially when your ending is saying, quote unquote, there's people, a group of survivors outside the old safe zone. Meaning, we don't know who they are. And I highly doubt you're going to leave that unanswered, Skybound. Like, I highly doubt that's the case. So we possibly could either get a reboot with AJ or season 5. But I mean, the problem is it's called the final season, so maybe it's the final season for Clementine and the new season for AJ, meaning the next Walking Dead game will be about AJ if it happens though. I mean, I doubt they just leave it like that. I mean, come on, it's retarded. Why would you then talk about a group of survivors found and then just not ever find out? And by the way, Krista, what's up with you? Like, hello? She's out there in the universe, apparently. according to the person. So that's one thing. You're in a bad epidemic now where they have to make a sequel. There's no point. If you don't, then you just let you just let the core base down, the fan base, because now you're gonna leave it on that cliffhanger. Because it literally is a cliffhanger because it's like, okay. By the way, yeah, there's these questions like, hey, who are the survivors? Or hey, how did the McHale Ranch burn down? Like, how'd that happen? Like, no one knows, bro. You can't just like. It's not an ending. It's weak as hell. But another question, quite simply, I love Clementine as a character. But don't get me wrong, that character's great, and I would love to let her live. But I have one question: how in the hell did she live? How? Her face was pale. She was already dying. Alright, let's make a comparison real quick. Y'all, I'm pretty sure if you're a fan, you remember Lee. If you don't know who Lee is the main character of the first season that gets bit, right? Around 5-10 minutes later, or 15, he cuts the arm off. Of course, it doesn't do anything. Famously doesn't do anything, right? However, Clem spends from nighttime to daytime, much later than Lee, but she lives. Y'all gonna explain that? How? How did she live? You can't, like... Okay, so when she was about to die, right, on her deathbed, basically, by the barn, her face was pale. Her eyes were yellow like Lee. Everything that Lee had, she had. Right? But you're gonna tell me her plot armor is that good? Like, her main character plot armor is that good that even if she gets bit, waits a whole night and cuts it off, she lives? I'm sorry, Telltale, but I'm calling language warning. But I'm calling a load of bullshit on that one. That makes literally 0 sense whatsoever. I'm sorry, language warning again, but that's a load of bullshit. How? That makes 0 sense. You can't just be like, oh, that's the main character. No! No, it doesn't make any... I'm hurt. My head hurts just thinking about that. But it makes no sense, okay? It just doesn't, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate the episode. The episode's actually one of the best, probably the best episode out of that whole season. But it's just like, how? Like, how, man? How? How are you gonna tell me that that's the case, man? That you're really gonna tell me she lives? No! Like, I love Clementine. She's a fun character. But that doesn't make any sense, guys. You need to understand this. The devs need to understand that that makes no sense. Your ending doesn't make any canon sense. You're breaking, like, literally, they broke their own canon. Explain that. Explain that. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, you get what I mean? So, like, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't, like, if we're talking about the canon story, the canon everything, then Lee should have lived if that was the case. But he doesn't, man. The plot armor can't be that thick. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, thank you all for watching. You know what I mean? And as always, I'll see y'all later. I'm not mad at the ending, though. I mean, still a great episode. Honestly, the ending made me cry. I'm gonna be honest here. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I know I made a lot of you guys cry, too. That person we've been through the whole time. Believe me, it was an emotional ending. But thank you guys so much for watching. I know 2K gameplay's in the background. It's just a short video explaining why, you know why that happened. I don't know why. It makes no sense. It breaks the canon. I'll see y'all later, man. Catch y'all later.